Yeah, who ruined it?
Me. I'm watching a Twitch stream.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, look at that. I want to get that hole.
Okay. Are you ready? Alright, so everyone just create a new project, just empty. With the cube. Alright? With the cube.
What are we doing? We're restarting?
Yeah. Just create a blank. We're gonna learn something else.
Okay, next one.
What is do?
Sure.
Leo, shh. I don't know what you find in your painting about making random sounds.
Isn't that
Okay. Do we all just stop, Leo? Did we all just open Blender?
No.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So do not delete anything. Do you guys have a cube?
Oh my gosh.
You know what? Never mind. You know what? Delete everything. Delete everything.
How did you do that? How did you just delete everything?
Press A to select all, or deselect anything.
What? That is.
That's like the first hotkey we learned.
Yeah.
The letter A is all. Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so at the top, change to Cycles Render. Alright, make sure you're not on Blender Render. So the top, no, change to Cycles Render from Blender Render, which is what you guys are normally on, which makes you a loser. So go on Cycles Render. Okay?
Hey, look, you're not outside.
Are we all on Cycles Render? Alright,
I'm not a loser like
so all we're gonna do is add a cube, okay, and add a plane, and move the plane lower, and just make it big. Alright? We're making a cube on top of a plane. Alright? I'm just gonna move everything up with the letter A.
Yo, add a plane in the cube.
So you guys should know how to add a cube and then add a plane under it, okay? With object mode, scaling, and moving.
Scale to what?
Just scale. It's a plane.
Skill to what?
Look, see this? If I just press the letter S, it can only go one. It can't go up and down because it's a plane. Okay.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Ooh.
I'm so dumb.
We all know that.
Hey, that's only positive. Maybe after that.
You go to school? I thought you drop out.
Alright, do we all have a cube and a plane? If you don't, ask one of our professional helpers. Okay, yeah? Okay.
Shelly, can you tell this boy to shut up?
Alright, so one thing that we're gonna press, stop Leo. One thing that we're gonna do a lot is hold shift and press the letter Z. Alright? The letter Z.
Render?
Yeah, render view. Or you could change it right here to
I
render.
don't have a sign.
Can I add my
Just
son?
see.
Hold shift and press Z. Okay, the letter
It doesn't
Z.
do anything.
This is render view.
Oh my gosh, it's cute.
Hold shift and press the letter Z for zebra. For zebra.
Did you do this?
I was just trying to do that.
Connect, you're not gonna connect.
Make me.
Have you seen the Indian alphabet song?
Okay, do we all know how to go into render view? Yeah? Okay, so shift Z and we have a cube and a plane. So what we're gonna do is learn how lighting works, okay? So on the left here, under create, you see there's something called a lamp. And then there's 5 of them, okay? So
gosh!
So mainly we're gonna use 2 of them, which is sun and point. Okay. So what we're gonna do is press shift A and add the lamp, or you could add the lamp on the side. So I'm gonna use shift A because I'm pro. And then you add
I'm pro too.
point. Just add the point to lamp.
What?
Point.
The point.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Point is more.
All right. So if you add the point and now go to render view, you see that we have a light now. All right. If I move it somewhere else, there's a light. You see that?
Wait, why does yours look so nice? Mine's so ugly.
It might be that your computer can't handle.
Well, it's probably because I
Oh, okay.
didn't put what light do you speak of? There is no light. I did it.
So
Whoa, look at how clear that is.
for the point lamp, all right, for the point lamp,
Oh.
you cannot scale or rotate it. All right. You can only move it, and it's just the most basic lamp. Okay.
How
just
come
lights
you
up.
can't see it after you put it down?
What do you mean?
Like,
Because you're
Jinx! I'm so stupid.
So remember, Shift Z is to toggle your rendered view.
Ooh.
This is what the final product will look like. See how much cooler it looks in rendered view compared to
No.
the normal. Yeah,
It looks
cool.
like a piece of dip.
Hey, don't say that.
That was you, Kevin.
Yeah. He has this all
Okay.
on
Me
tape.
after school.
And then now, if you notice, if you select the lamp, you have on your right menu, you have a little thing here.
A little thing.
Yeah, it's for all your light settings. Okay. So here you could change the color, right? If I say I want it to look like it is almost sunset, then you change it. Wow, you change it orange.
Wow.
Or I could change it
It's the end
to
of the world.
blue light,
The sun is blue.
right?
This?
Yeah, maybe.
So you can change the color of your light.
No,
What if you change this
Well,
to
now I know.
So if you're like, hey, I want it to look scary, you add red.
So what if you change the lamp to black?
Wait, where do I see
Then your light will be
What
black.
Yeah,
I
see.
do? What I
So what happens when your light is black?
Yeah, it just looks like there is.
And right under color, you'll see something called strength, which is how bright the light is. So I could turn it way up, right?
Will it crash my computer?
No.
No, it won't. If you do it to 3,000.
No, you know what? It will.
I'm going 1000000.
Alright, cool.
Literally never help.
Bye.
No.
I just went like 1000000.
And this is what you got.
Yeah. 1E plus 027.
Oh, I got something.
How did I turn my light?
3E. 3E, let's
I'm
go.
gonna turn it to 10,000.
10,000?
Oh, that's not bad.
3,000 is already good enough. 3,000 is like.
Just go back to it. Oh, that looks so dark now.
Okay, strength 1.
So I think the point lamp is
Okay.
pretty simple.
You know how to also make it look dark? You don't even need to put the color to black. Just press strength to 1.
Wow.
I'm genius.
Why are you touching me?
Why are you behind me?
You got glass.
5-0.
Thank you.
I like it. It's very ugly.
As long as it's
Get out of my way.
I'm not part of the different. If you want to do it,
You don't have the voice.
I know that. That's why I'm so bad at this.
Hey, are we all good? Yeah?
No, use like week 6.
Yeah.
That 8 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay, can we move on? Yeah?
No.
I told him that I was in grade 6 and he believed it. What's the security key? Village.
I'll slap you if I got a bit.
Village what? Village
218.
218. 718.
You just gotta.
Okay, can we move on? Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so another property that's very important is, so we know color, we know strength, the size, okay? So the lower you put the size, you see how sharp the shadow becomes? And the higher you go, the more spread out and filtered it is. The more like fuzzy and stuff. Yeah. So if you put it at like 0.1, it looks a lot more sharp. And then if you go to like 1, it looks a lot more like not sharp. Non-sharp.
Size of evil, maybe that's why.
Does this
Moving
look
on.
amazing?
So all you need to know is size, color, and strength.
I still see no difference.
Okay, well maybe your eyes.
Maybe you shouldn't be Asian.
Wow, that was very. Like,
What does it do even?
Okay, look. Alright, look, Mark. If I put it to 1, do you see what happens, right?
No.
Alright, just look at it, right?
Oh.
And then 0.01. Do you see how sharp the shadows become?
Wow.
So normally it says 0.3, which is a good.
why do you want to do this?
Wait. How do you crash a computer?
Do not crash your computer. Why would you want to do that?
Oh my god!
How do I fix it?
Fix what?
What is it?
Where's that thing where you
Just check.
Wait, what's the normal strength?
What's the normal save?
Normal
strength?
This one's 100.
Huh?
100.
Oh my.
100.
Here.
100.
Materials button. You have to get out of the room. No, you have to get out of the room. No. Go to solid.
Can we add a
Select
map?
something.
No.
Select something.
It won't show a rendered view
Why is yours
anyways.
so much prettier? What's yours so much brighter?
No, yeah.
This computer's better.
Which one was it?
Okay, it looks a lot better on my computer
Or was it?
compared to this.
Yeah, she's happy.
Oh yeah.
Wait, first. Well, I don't know.
Oh, see, look, this is a soft shadow. See? This is a soft shadow. Do you see that? Wow, live demonstration. And
The demonstration.
then if I get closer, you see this is a not soft shadow. This is a sharp shadow. If I go here, this is a soft shadow. Okay, so depending on what you want is what size you would put your lamp to, okay? And then one more thing about lighting is the sun, okay? So I'm going to delete this and add the sun. Alright? So something about the sun is that you could rotate it, okay? So if I want, I could rotate this on the X. Just going to change this to a color. See that? I could rotate it on the X axis and make the rays point a direction. Leo, stop talking. So for sun,
Division view to
stop.
100.
So for oh my gosh, why would you? All right, so you could set the direction of the rays for the sun. So something that's interesting on the sun is this. All right. So I'm gonna create a wall. Leo. All right. Do you guys think that the sun will still be on the thing?
No.
Why
I
not?
tried it already.
There's a wall here. All right. Do you think that the cube will still get the sun?
No, because if we put the sun in the cube. Wait, the sun or the spot?
This is a sun, not point lamp.
Oh,
Do you think
yeah.
it'll show?
Yeah,
No.
Why? Why will it show?
Because
because Earth rotates around it.
That's crazy. All right. So the answer is it still works. Wait, never mind. See, it still works. See, it still works. Oh my gosh. Alright, so the thing about the sun is the location does not matter at all. Alright guys, look, if I, do you guys see what it looks like, right? Shh, stop talking, Leo. Alright, stop. Alright, do you guys see how it looks like right now, right?
Yeah.
If I move the sun all the way here, it looks the exact same. Or if I go all the way down, alright? It looks the exact same. I think, yeah. So the thing about the sun is the location doesn't matter because the sun is so big anyways.
Rotates around the sun.
Sure. So you could think of the sun as like everywhere because that's how the sun works, okay? So the location is everywhere no matter where you put it. It's just the only thing that matters is the direction of the rays. So you could just think about it as just million rays coming in this direction.
How do you
Okay.
make the thing point?
You rotate it. You could rotate the sun.
Wait.
Literally not helping me.
So the sun also has size, color, and strength.
That's because you're. That's because you were. Oh my god.
Make me.
I honestly don't.
Honestly,
It does. It's not
Honestly.
working.
Here,
Stanley,
here.
you're
I
a
found
liar.
it.
honestly, just
It's
rotate.
not going to
I
speed at
can't.
all.
Look,
Press R.
I pressed R.
Did you rotate it?
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay.
You're a liar.
Yeah, you are rotating it.
I am.
Yeah, you do not see the rotation thing?
This is what happens when you use
No, but
sun
this stick
and you
thing
put the
isn't
color to
moving.
red, and you have the strength to 3000.
Okay,
The
great.
color is pink.
Okay, good for
Why
you.
does it not
This
work?
stick isn't
Stanley,
moving.
you're a liar.
Yeah, I guess so. Even though I just showed you.
Shouldn't that stick thing be moving?
Okay, but on that axis.
What's wrong?
On what?
Try
And
shining the light on the cube.
But why?
Why not? Are you using a sun?
Huh? Yes.
Do you have the ray pointing up?
No.
Okay.
Pointing directly at the cube. Think of how the sun works.
No. Do you know how the sun works? The Earth rotates around it.
Okay, that works.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know why? The shadow of this is covering it. The sun just has it.
Way down.
See that? So imagine if a ray is going this way, this shadow is already
Brother, one asking why they
Why do you keep stepping up?
Hey, Dan, why doesn't the line rotate?
Because.
Because you have a point left. It's a point left. It's not the sun.
Wait,
You can't
didn't you
rotate
click
the
this?
point.
Why is the cube so pretty?
You have to click the sun.
Wait,
No,
did you not
what
click the
is-
sign? Oh my, you're trolling.
You are an idiot.
Alright, so you can only rotate the sun, okay?
Stop! No,
you can't
you're
rotate
clogging
the
your
point
hands
left.
like 100 times.
I am people like.
Okay, so you could try the other ones if you want, but mainly you'll just use the point.
That moves now.
Like if you want, you could go. Oh, I want a spotlight, and then there's a spotlight. Do you see that?
60. Is that where you put the circle?
See. So you could try the other lights. For example, the spot one. The Hemi is like a very big light. That's like everywhere. And the area one is just an area, and you can scale it. Okay, but mainly you could try the other ones, but mainly we're gonna use the sun and the point. Okay,
Okay.
does that make sense?
We need internet. Fortnite. That
Bro,
can't.
I think my computer's like.
Yeah, I can.
My computer can.
It can.
Fortnite.
I get one frame.
So you can't.
I get 60. Huh?
Me too.
1 frame per hour.
I have another computer at home. The average is 100 frames. Me too.
Okay. Okay, if you guys want to watch it, you know, there's a lot of Leo.
Tell your parents.
I'm so bad.
Because that is how you get in trouble.
Leo, do you play Minecraft in class?
Yes.
I'll go what? You doing it right? You're so bad at this.
Oh, you're so bad.
My feelings.
Stop. Don't.
So bad
Oh,
at
great.
it.
Made me
Oh
cry.
my God. It's so bad.
Hey guys, like Subway Surf. I think that's cool.
And also go get.
Let's play Minecraft. Let's play Minecraft.
Totally.
Let's play Minecraft.
He literally just
Oh.
opened
Sophie, I
it.
saw. I'm not stupid.
Are you though? Why do you still have your spot? It's like
Good password.
Alright, is that good?
I'm a professional.
Can we move
assistant.
on? Yeah? Alright, so, shh, stop. So the next thing is there's something called a camera, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna add a camera, and you'll see this, okay? So this camera determines what you see when you render your animation, okay? So this is sort of what what the final video file would look like. Okay.
That one's trying.
So when you add a camera, to see through the camera, you press numpad 0 or your 0 button on emulate numpad.
Whoa.
Letter number 0.
How
Numpad
do
0.
people not know
What
that?
if we didn't emulate the
Litty.
numpad?
Okay.
What?
Oh.
What does this help do? I don't know.
Alright, Mark, let's say you made an animation, okay? And then you want, okay. Let's say if Mark can make one. I'm joking. Alright, so if you made one, right?
You're a terrible teacher.
How do you want your... You need a camera, okay? If you have something happening, you need a camera to film it. Hey, stop. What are you guys doing? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you get that camera.
Secondary
Secondary videos.
How do you put the thing? Camera thing?
So the camera you could grab, scale, and grab and rotate as well. So you could grab it here and move it with G. You can actually grab it while looking through it. Or one thing that's useful is pressing
What do you mean?
lock camera to view on your right sub menu. Okay.
Why did I add a funky?
He died at 55%.
When you press lock camera to view, the camera stays with you as you move around.
It does?
Yeah.
Mine doesn't.
No.
I have
Eh,
800.
Did you? If you check lock camera to view,
You press
then
N,
then
you
you
go
gotta
down.
check that.
Yeah.
Lock camera to view done.
Because you were playing on your phone.
Where is that?
on the right sub menu. So if you press the letter N or the plus button,
Go down.
scroll up, not down.
Oh, that is sick.
And then now you can move your view,
Stop! Don't touch my computer ever again.
and you can see it.
I will.
Deal, come on, deal.
Okay, so I'm gonna open my project as an example, if I can find it. I don't know what it's called. Alright, so you see this, right? How am I supposed to get my final product? I put a camera here so that this is my final product, okay?
Yeah. You want me to show me? I don't know.
So the camera is just like a normal object, alright? You could set keyframes on it and you can make it move, okay?
Doesn't work because it emulates.
Yes, I did.
Why are you putting your computer like that?
Loser.
Like,
Fight me.
okay.
Alright, so this is render view for the project, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, so I position my camera so that it captures what I want it to,
Well,
and then it puts it into the final video, which
Oh, that's so cool.
is also here.
there's a final
So
video.
cool. Well, it's not the class, so this can't fall down.
This one.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So we have the camera so that in the end, right? So this is the file, right?
Oh my gosh.
And this is how we see the
I did the
project.
same thing as him.
So this is the rendered one.
Awesome.
No, you just took my project.
No, I
Didn't do the
didn't.
exact same thing. So I have the camera and I positioned it and I put stop talking, Leo. And I put keyframes on my camera. So I said at 0 I want you here, and at the end I want you moving up slowly. So the whole entire time the camera's moving.
Hey,
Sammy?
ready?
You want ice cream?
Turn.
Yo,
Okay.
look at this tilted.
So you can just grab and also rotate your camera. Okay?
Oh, I did not see
Wait,
what we just
how
did.
do you move it around while you're in it? Kevin, get out.
Mine is different. See, mine is called SpongeBob Project.
Kevin,
Blend.
help me or I'm not gonna pay you.
Huh?
Good one.
No, you're
Help
not
me.
paying him. You're paying that guy, and that
What?
guy's paying him.
What?
Help me. Come here.
Help you do what?
How do I move the angle of the camera?
You
You
see this?
move your screen.
See this? Wait. No, wait. you select it in object mode here. Daniel,
Daniel.
you select it in object mode and move it and rotate it. So I move it and rotate it and check it again. And then since I have it still selected, I can still rotate it on the Z, rotate on the X, rotate on the Y, grab Y, grab X, grab Z. And there's also lock camera to view, okay? And then you could just
Wait,
move
I
it.
need that thing, Finley. I need the kitchen.
I gave it to you guys last week.
I was in here last week.
Oh, my computer just crashed. Oh no.
What's my thing till good power?
Because you killed
I can't get
it.
What?
Can't
I
get
didn't.
it.
It's because my camera.
Okay, so just try moving the camera and looking through it, okay? That's it. That's it.
Where's my
Yeah.
Almost. Not enough though. Are you a fat boy?
What's wrong?
Yes, my Robert's flexible. I'm done with your
I'm gonna delete everything.
Press Alt Tab. Press Alt Tab.
Why?
because he hates his life.
Yeah,
Let go.
Don't be the next Annabelle.
Alt Tab
yeah,
once and let go.
He's
Once and let go.
Why
I did it.
The guy has no problem. Like, 13, like, he shouldn't be a reason. He should be like 12 people.
Okay,
Probably him. Like,
Oh,
stop.
why do you have to do this?
Leo.
Wait, I was like,
Leo, stop.
This is bullying.
Leo.
Leo,
Yeah.
what do you want him to do?
No, I'm just saying Leo, stop.
Leo, stop playing Minecraft.
Leo,
I'm not
stop.
doing
Leo, stop
Okay.
playing Minecraft.
So, camera, you can move it, you can rotate it. Stop talking, and you can also check lock camera to view, okay? So the last thing is rendering. How do you do it, okay? So on the right tab here, see the camera, right?
Yeah, I do. See it.
Okay, so down on the settings, there's something. So these are the important things, right? This is all that matters.
Okay.
Dimensions,
Dimension.
the resolution of your final product. So this is 1080, 1920 by 1080. And then you're saying how much percent of it do you want? I want 50% of 1080p, so it'll give you like a bad resolution. Alright, so usually I put it to 100%. So it's 100% 1080p. And then here you select the frame rate on how fast your green thing moves, okay? So standard is 24, which I use for this one, I think.
I'm going 60.
Okay, but-
Oh wait, never mind. I use 60.
What does that even do?
Oh, I'm so pro.
You like my computer, my laptop? So do you.
So this is the speed in which your green thing at the bottom moves,
In which?
okay?
Fancy.
How fast this green thing moves. Alright, when you're playing. Alright, see how it moves along?
I changed this.
Depending on how high you put the
How
number,
fat?
is how fast it'll run. Okay.
How fat it
I
will
need.
run.
I'm not where you are.
I'm going 1,000.
Okay, so that's resolution. So, and see if I change it, see that the camera changes too. Alright, if I change it to 1080 by 1080, because I'm weird and I like squares. Alright, see what happens?
Papa, I'm done work. Why'd you say that, Stanley?
Because it works.
Because it's cool.
Alright, and then if you scroll down to samples, this is the second thing that's important. Sampling, okay? Sampling. Alright, so sampling is how much times. Alright, here
Stanley.
shh, wait. So this is what one sample looks like, okay?
No, it doesn't.
Oh wait, shoot.
That looks so fake.
He is.
That looks like you.
This is what one sample looks like, okay? Guys, shh, look. This is what two samples look like.
So true.
This is what three samples look like. So depending on how high you put your samples is how much quality your final product will have.
so real.
So if I put it to like 50, right, eventually it'll go up in my rendered view, and it'll go higher and higher. So what matters is what you put your rendered samples to. Alright? So samples, you get to control how high quality you want your project to be. Okay? So I could set it to like 80. 80 is a good number, I think. Okay. So it's going to use 80 samples in the final project. Does that make sense? So resolution and samples, okay? Samples, resolution, alright? See, 30 samples already looks pretty good on my screen, at least. Already looks really good.
Well, I'm pretty sure you have it downloaded.
Alt F. Oh, that is.
Alright, so far we know how to change the resolution and the samples. Alright, and the very last thing is how to output MP4 file. Alright guys, look, because then you guys don't want a bunch of pictures, okay? So under output, you change this to FFmpeg video, FFmpeg video, okay? And then in encoding, you change it to MPEG-4. Alright, that's all. So FFmpeg video and MPEG-4. I think
MPEG me?
I think I already said that for you guys. FFmpeg video and MPEG-4. By default, it says PNG, which is not what we want. When you stop talking, when you put Shift S is cursor settings. That doesn't matter. Alright, so by default it's at PNG, so when you output you'll get 150 pictures. This is what you do not want. So you choose FFmpeg video and change this, the cotain, I don't know whatever, but in encoding you change this to MPEG-4, which is MP4. Alright? And then that's it. And then you press your render animation button. Alright? So if I render one frame, look what happens. Alright, so this is what rendering looks like. So it's going to go here for 50 samples, move there for 50 samples, and it's going to move to the next place for 50 samples. Okay? So this is what rendering looks like. So this is going to do it 150 times, and then put all of them together to make the video. Okay?
I'll put it.
This is what rendering looks like.
Oh no.
So this is, rendering usually takes a long time. So, rip.
Rendering
And also relies on your computer,
for one project.
the speed of your computer. So if you have a graphics card, you could set it for the graphics card to render, which is way, way, way faster. Alright, CPU rendering is a lot slower. So in the end, your computer will do this 150 times, and then in render view, which is this view, right? And then you go to the files where you put it to.
What does it do?
You know what? And then you should have an MP4 file of your thing. Does that make sense? I feel like it's sort of confusing. You guys get
Watch the
it?
Coco animation breakdown.
Yeah, I did. See, I'm a tryhard. Alright, so dimensions, alright, that's it. 1080, 1920 by 1080, 100%. Frame rate, resolution, frame rate, samples, and output. That's all, okay? Resolution, frame rate, output, and samples. Yes. Make sure you're in cycles render.
Okay.
Yo, you.
Yo, why are you making fun of me? I'm sorry.
What's he saying before?
Dad or something.
I know, but what?
No, like when he said yo, because I sometimes say yos instead of yous.
And it's not really
And that's
much.
really weird.
You guys have to admit, just teaching you how to do it.
Okay, so he sometimes says yos instead of yous.
Yeah.
So I go like,
So
I'm like, ayo.
Render is the final part.
How sick this dude is.
higher is way better.
Look how lit
The
he
higher you
is.
go, the longer.
I want you. Like, you
My
know,
guy is H.
Aya.
My guy is.
Ayo.
Oh,
He's not your dad.
Should I punch you in the arm?
I give you a high five.
Can I put you in the base?
No. You give me a high five.
Can I high five?
Point.
You don't get that.
I already added like.
Actually, so are these.
Wow,
These
can I get a high five?
It's too
no,
annoying.
I give them a high five. Well, they can give me it.
Yeah, so can I get a high five?
You're just too, no, you're just too annoying.
right now, usually it's at this
Hitting people.
Alright?
How's that?
And
I don't know. I heard it.
then this is the resolution.
So it's your fault.
But it's 50%.
It's about
Yeah.
This is the free for you know what free
Let me follow the rules.
Yeah. You just let it follow.
Like, but
That's an example.
Can you buy me ice cream?
Leo, stop.
I bring my wallet.
Leo,
No, I want some ice cream.
Wait.
Leo, you keep playing video games in class, and you also
I didn't do anything.
and you also keep distracting your teacher.
Right.
I
You are
know.
very irresponsible.
Stanley, you are a dope sheet.
Huh? What?
You taught us about the dope sheet.
You have a dope sheet.
This is the dope sheet.
Can you show
This
us
is the dope sheet.
Yeah, the dope sheet. You showed us.
What's wrong with the dope sheet?
Showed us what dope.
Do you have the dope sheet?
It's right here.
Is the dope sheet dope?
Do you roll it up and then put it in your mouth or something?
Stop. What? I don't get it.
Stanley, can you make an animation of SpongeBob getting a spatula, making like a hamburger and start laughing?
A spatula make
Or is that clear? Does anyone have questions on rendering? Stop. Does anyone have questions on rendering or lighting or camera? Yes.
Why does the sun go through the wall?
Bro, you're
Huh? What? Wall? What'd you say about a wall?
Windows L.
What are you doing?
That's too fast. And also, how you get these textures at the
Why are
bottom
you answering me?
is a mystery, right? You guys can't know yet. It's too important.
It's a secret.
Stanley, why don't you answer me?
Okay.
Are you drinking water, Kevin? Or is that beer?
How many of you guys are close to finishing something like this?
You made me laugh so hard.
I feel so
I could feel it. I almost
Huh?
going.
How's the recording?
Huh?
How's the recording?
What?
What?
Done.
No, we still have like 30 minutes. Wait.
You're done teaching.
Oh, I'm gonna teach you. What are you guys doing? Oh, and also, guys, look. We also put this and this on 7 and 8, lesson 7 and 8.
Was that
Okay.
your dad?
Yeah, that's my dad. And there's Kevin. All right. So lesson
Watch that.
7 and 8 are up. Okay. I think I clarified some more things. So if you're still confused on the rigging, sort of, so a part of rigging and vertex groups, you could watch them. Okay. Does that make sense?
You know it's being recorded, right?
Okay, and I'll go through. Or and I'll go through one last thing. Okay. So this is the very basics of. Guys, look. Very basics of image. Stop coughing. You know what? I'm sorry. I can't stop.
That's
Alright.
recorded.
Okay. So I'm just going to sample it really quick. So in Cycle's material, right?
What? There's such thing as cycling.
You could press this little dot here for more color settings. Okay? Does that make sense? And then I could choose image texture and open a image. So I'm gonna go.
It's what? It's what?
Okay.
What?
Does that make sense?
It's not me.
You guys see that?
What is this? Kevin.
What are you doing?
I'm adding a.
Ellie, what are you doing?
I'm showing you guys how to add an image. All right, guys. All right, guys. Were you guys listening? All right. Shh.
Just show it.
It's gone. I don't know what happened.
What?
Yeah, picture of it.
What?
Alright.
Okay, here.
Okay, guys. Stop. Why is it funny? It just. It's literally a stock photo of a person.
I'll
Okay,
make you laugh after.
it's a person. Okay, so when you're adding a color, all right. No, guys, look. If you guys want to know how to use images in your colors, stop. All right. So if you press this dot right next to color and change it to image texture, okay, you can add an image. All right. And then here you press open. You press open and choose your picture, which mine is pointingboy.png. Okay.
I'm not laughing at you, Stanley. You're not laughing. You're not
What
laughing.
are you doing?
Okay. And then now that you added the image to the thing, all right. There's one more step. There's one more step. You have to unwrap it. Okay. Stop talking. So you have to unwrap your thing. All right. So you won't know what it means for now, but for now, for simple stuff, you could just unwrap or smart UV project. So unwrap, and then I have this. Okay. Another thing is if I want to.
Shift to J, dude.
Alright, I'm just gonna create something really quick. Alright, so I'm creating a rock right
What
now.
does Shift H do?
Ah, I see.
Stanley, I dare you to click Shift H.
Let's prove to children that
You guys don't mind what I'm doing right now. I'm making a rock. Okay?
Rock.
Yeah, Iraq.
I ran to Iraq.
I ran for it.
Alright, I made a rock. Okay? So this is a rock.
I ran.
So abstract.
So I'm gonna add an
you
image.
said you made a
Stop
rock,
talking.
and you made a stone.
Okay, shut. Yo. Alright, so I'm gonna. Alright, wait. Let me smooth this first. Alright, so I have a rock, okay? And I'm gonna. Stop. And I'm adding the image texture. And I'm opening. Alright? So don't look at my files. Alright? Resource.
Why is the
Not
rock
this.
purple?
Texture. Alright, so these are my millions of textures. So I'm gonna add the rock texture, okay? So I have a picture of a rock as my material, and you're like, oh, it's just gray, and then so what you have to do is always unwrap your thing. So for this, since it's a complicated object, you have to press Smart UV Project and just press OK, and see what happens.
Okay.
Then my image texture goes on. For this plane at the bottom, you could use just unwrap, okay, and it should work. But so you have to unwrap it and just be quiet. Alright, so what unwrapping is something that we'll talk about later, but then it's important. But for now, you just press U and press whichever one. Alright, so if you have,
rock for a hand.
if you guys have any sort of photo on your computer, you guys should try it right now.
I have one.
Alright, what? So just add any photo onto a plane or whatever.
How do you add it?
Oh my gosh. So right next to your color, there's a dot right here,
Serious?
and if you press image texture, you can add your image.
Color. What
You know, there's another
So I
way
have
to
this
get
dude.
image
I
textures.
Like also
have this dude. And then how do I get to color?
yes. Pardon?
Yeah.
Or what?
Ayo. Do.
Not that. So sweet.
How do I do it?
Literally a genius.
I don't literally.
Leo, go sit down.
Wait.
What were you saying?
So all I have to do is
Wait. Freaking how do you?
Yeah.
Teacher, what about the teachers are
oh shoot, my computer's not even plugged in.
How do you add the picture? How do you add the picture?
So wait, let me plug my computer in.
Ching chong. Ching ling ling ling.
Yes.
Do you know that name your face is
You throw a pencil downstairs.
No.
A pen.
No,
Or pen.
no, you ring the doorbell.
You used to click one of the textures.
Success.
Okay, guys, look. If you guys have no idea what you're doing, just look right now. All right. So I have a plane. What? Leo, what are you doing?
Picking up